To our Canvas PD series. And this series we've started up this year, and it is connected to our Canvas agreements. And our Canvas agreements are linked in the earlier slides here. And the whole idea is that we're using Canvas consistently across the district for the benefit of our users, which are our students, and families, right? So they can find things and we're all using it similarly. So we are in level 1 and we are on episode 4. So today's idea that we're going to be discussing is how to create a weekly or daily agenda. And we're actually recording this session for people to watch the video later. So we're going to talk about this initially, and then we're going to have a question and answer time. And for the first portion of that, we'd love the questions to be focused solely on this topic about creating agendas or anything we're having to do with posting agendas. As soon as we've exhausted those questions, we'll stop the video recording, and then we're happy to just open the floor to any old Canvas questions that you have once that video recording has stopped. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started, and Chris is going to start us off. And we are
as far as the Canvas calendar, it's on the left-hand side. You can click to it at any point in time. It doesn't matter where you are in Canvas. It's on the left-hand side. You can always access it. A few things to know about the calendar before you get into an agenda is on the right-hand side, you have a whole list of all of your courses that you either teach, or if you're a student, you're taking, or if you're a parent, you would see these courses as well. And so why I'm telling you this is because if a course does not have a color next to it, then that means that course and its information, its assignments and stuff won't show up on the calendar. So when I unselect this course, you haven't noticed that because there's nothing due on this month, but things will disappear. The other thing too about the calendar I want you to know is you can go ahead and click the 3 dots at any point in time and change the color to any of those courses. And this is great for, again, students, parents, and teachers who might just want to color coordinate their courses. Like a heat map. Red is hard, blue might be friendly and fun. I don't know however you want to do it. But that's just important to know when it comes to the calendar. And then by default, you typically have 15 live courses showing up. I have a lot more. So just let you know. And as far as the calendar, I look at the calendar as like how I drive my instruction. When you come into my classroom, you're going to ask me what you're doing today. Hey, Mr. Giles, what are we doing today in class? And I typically would tell my students. I got tired of telling them week after week, so I got smart and write on the whiteboard. Now, fast forward to today, we're doing things a little bit differently because now my whiteboard can be in my Canvas calendar where I can simply say, here's what we're working on in class, and I can go ahead and type that information, make it real simple. It just has to be text. It doesn't have to be fancy, lots of colors. It can be really simple. And the point of this is, here's what we're doing in class. If you missed class, you can simply click on the day that you missed, and that information for what we were doing in class the day before or last week, it was always there. And so, again, you can make it as simple as adding just text, or on some of my agendas, I have even a video or even Zoom links or other things that my students might need for that day. And again, the beauty of that calendar is if you miss school, that's where the information is found. And just real quickly, and as far as how to create it, once you click on the calendar anywhere, it gives you an option. Is this an event? Are you creating an assignment, a to-do list? Well, in this case, I'm creating an event, and I always call it, I usually call it my daily agenda or something, so that my students are in the consistency of seeing the same information. And then what's really important is I want to make sure that the course that I'm putting this information on, if you're elementary, it could be your homeroom. If you're middle school or high school, it could be your science class or your biology class. And I just want to make sure that I choose the right course. And then I click, hit more options. And then this looks familiar. This is the rich content editor. It's the same thing in discussions, quizzes, it doesn't matter where you are. And then I can go ahead and begin to type today's agenda. And I can put down a list if I want to. I can even go ahead and do so much as if I wanted to go ahead and add a document, I can. The idea of the agenda is to not make it too big. Just keep it simple because you don't want your students scrolling forever. And I can, just like we're going to show in a little bit, you can always go ahead and record. Oops, didn't want to do that. I can always go ahead and record a video of myself reading. So you can do these things in your agenda. The trick is keep it simple, keep it consistent, don't overwhelm your students. And then the last thing I want to show is what a student sees. When a student goes to the calendar, it's the exact same process as the teacher. On the right-hand side are all of my courses right over here that I take as a student. And then I can see my agenda that my teacher has produced for me. But I can also go ahead and change this calendar to an agenda view. So now it's like a list. Sometimes the calendar is too much. I can change it from a month view to a list view. And then the part I really love is if I'm a student, I can actually go ahead and click this plus symbol or click anywhere, and I can make my own to-do list. So if I have something due for ELA, I can actually choose that course if I want to, and I can make down a list of things to do. And so as a student, I can actually be in charge of my own calendar and begin to use this as kind of like a digital calendar or a digital organizer to just kind of help me keep track of the things that I'm supposed to be working on. And then I hit submit, and that information that I put in there will show up. And what's great is I can move it anywhere I want as well.
The second option here is to utilize your homepage. And when we gave our elementary teachers their shell at the beginning of the year, we kind of put in a mock, like this is a potential way you could do it. You certainly don't have to. Put your weekly agenda right here on your homepage, right? Like that's what you're doing Monday, Tuesday. You could have links, everything set up right there, as well as a place to navigate to your other courses or to other modules. And our thought was, well, after you finish this first week, then you could have a space or a page where you move that information so students can access it later. So they may not need it that week, but there's a link to a page with previous agendas. I asked some of our elementary teachers to share some of the things that they've been doing and how they've modified it. And I always think it's helpful to see what other people are doing. We had the shell that we all started with, but here's an example of a way that a different teacher, same thing, she's using the homepage as her agenda, and she's got, you know, login information for kids up there. Here's just the elementary teachers. So, right. So here is our day at a glance, and everything is hot linked for them, as well as some of the specialized small groups. And again, that's all hot linked as well. So you're going to a different Zoom with a different teacher, you have the information right there for students. So they just have this again, right there on their homepage so that they know what's required, what the schedule is, and they have the links. There's just way less navigation required. And again, she also has a page where she has last week's agenda. So if you needed to go back to historically go see some information or go watch a video from a previous session, you can access that as well. I have a few other examples that some teachers just shared some screen captures for us. So again, I love the pictures just because I'm elementary teacher, but just make it so clear. Okay, here's my math link. Here's the assignment. It's linked right there for me. The Zoom link, the password, all of that, what time we're Zooming in, all of that's accessible right there again on the homepage for kids. And then at the bottom of her homepage, she has last week's homepage that you can access it, as well as other links and things that kids might want to have access to. This teacher has the whole week done in a grid. Right, so here's math, here are all the things that we're going to do throughout the week. And I like that she's color coded it, that there are some things that we're going to do, and there are some things that are in blue that are things they're going to need to be turned in Canvas. So right there at a glance, I can look down Monday and I kind of have my my organizer, my planner, if you will. Okay, did you do all the things in blue? Did I submit all of those things? So that's how she has organized herself. Another teacher, same kind of idea. All the links, all the information, everything that you need right there. In addition to passwords, I think the more you can put that there for kids, the better. This teacher has a little Bitmoji a thing at the top of her classroom, but then it progresses into the same kind of weekly agenda. So for Monday, instead of listing all the stuff out, she's chosen to use Google Slides, and I'll show an example of her slide in a moment, but here's the link and here's the slide. It's that simple. Tuesday, Wednesday, here's what you need to know, everything for the day. And then she also has it archived for students for previous weeks. So she just kind of simplifies it to here you go, here are the slides for that day. You could also put your Zoom links in there, right? If you had Zoom links that you wanted to share the YouTube recordings of all of those sessions. And here's an example of just those daily slides, right? So she's chosen to, instead of put all that information in Canvas, she puts the link to the slides and then she's got the slides. And I'm just gonna run through so you can see the idea. Okay, math, here's what you needed to know, or the problem that's gonna launch us today. Here are the things you're gonna need to accomplish. During this break, check in Canvas, make sure you have your grade, check your email, you know, all these just little time savers, right? She has all the information there for them as they progress, the math. Yeah, so you get the idea, but everything that they need, now that we're moving into math, we have the math information, lunchtime, read aloud. Here's what good readers do. So she builds a slide deck for every day and uses that to organize her information. So that is another possibility that you could use just your home page, right? And have all the information and agenda organized on your home page.
Time you can go through and add in, I think the Bitmojis add a little bit of the humanizing piece, but I think to remind you just how easy it is to add in a little video above your agenda, I would go in and click and I'm using the old rich text editor on this particular course. I probably should have changed it over, but let's just say, you know, I'm really quickly, it's Sunday night, I've just finished adding all of my links for the previous or for the next week. I'm going to go in and say, you know, start recording. And then I might just say, hey guys, this week is going to be really great. We're going to be doing the following items in science and blah, blah, blah. And you just really quickly with a video walk through what you're going to be doing that week and maybe a little side anecdote. I think that would be a really great addition to your kind of daily agenda. I know that they get to see, especially, that's a great thumbnail, by the way. And so then I would just maybe say weekly agenda video 10 or something. What week are we on? And so then that pops in right above the agenda. I think this is a great way to add a little bit. And then it's going to end up being right here. So we just want to reemphasize anytime that you can add those little nuts and bolts there. I think as a parent, that might be super easy for me to quickly watch and just get a better handle on what might be coming. And then the last part we wanted to really emphasize was the difference between to-do lists and dashboard view and what you can see in Canvas. So the first thing I wanted to show from a student's perspective is this quick little diagram of the dashboard view. So a couple of things to keep in mind, these cards, course cards, you can change the colors of. So here you can see, and this is actually my daughter's account. So you can see she's added different colors over the top of her different courses. You can also pick up and drag and move these. If they aren't showing up maybe in the right order for you, you can come back and take a look at that and change them up. These are important things to teach our students how to do because we can't just assume that they know all of these pieces. Additionally, we were kind of playing around today and I wish I went through and I deleted a whole bunch of stuff and I wish now belatedly that I hadn't. But my daughter had a couple of things on her to-do list that said Thanksgiving and Turkey Day. And so I went in and clicked the X mark on those. And we were just trying to see, does it go away or does it come back? And sure enough, after we hit refresh, it goes away. So as soon as students go through these pieces and finish them, they can X them off. And so Chris mentioned previously that you can in fact go in and create your own to-do list items. So that might be something to remind your students of occasionally, to go in and add those in themselves and then X out when they're done. And you can also see down below when teachers give you some feedback and jumping right into view those grades. So this is all from a student's view and perspective. And then I also wanted to show you, I'm going to have to switch screens for just a second, because I think honestly, this view is pretty incredible. And I know that I was sharing it with the 4th grade team at McKinley, and they really liked the idea of showing this to their students. So this, again, I'm in my daughter's Canvas course. If I go in to these 3 little dots, if I'm in, it defaults to dashboard view. But if I go in and click on list view, watch what happens. it kind of comes up as this slightly different to-do list that's color-coded by those course cards. Now, it totally depends on how your brain functions. For me, as a student, this would be the view I'd want to see. This seems a little bit easier for me to manage and to understand. And it shows me what I've submitted and what I still need to work on. So that's, again, just going up to these 3 little jelly beans in the corner and changing from card view to list view. So I'll go back to card. My daughter actually prefers this card view. So I think showing that to students and giving them that choice might actually help a little bit with what they're doing. So that being said, I'm going to go back to this little view. And we'll just say, well, I just need to remind you, we're going to ask if there's any questions on anything we've covered in the last 19 minutes or so. And then if not, then we'll stop the recording and it's just kind of free for all for everyone. So if there's anything that you have questions on in regards to what we talked about, daily or weekly agenda, go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Like we do have a question in there and how you can add a picture to your course cards.
Yeah, I will be happy to share that. All right, one moment. I'll share my screen just because I have a million things open and that's never cool. 1 second. Okay, so as far as being able to change a course picture on your course, this is going to be you, so it will always impact the students. Students cannot change the courses titles or pictures, but they can change the color just like Nicole shared. So if I want to change this course, this has a weird picture on it. I'm going to go to the course itself, and then I'm going to go scroll down to the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to click on settings. And then you can choose the image, and you can use any image that you find. It has a very small pixel scale, so you aren't going to be able to use a gigantic, beautiful mountain view picture. It'll have to be a very small photo, and it does allow for GIFs to be used. And then I have to hit update course at the very bottom. And once I do that, to see if it changed anything, I click on my dashboard, because that's the view that my students and my parents will see. And then down below, let's take a look and see. There's my beautiful tiny brain working out. And again, I can change the colors, or I can simply say, if I don't want any colors, I can do that. Or I can click the 3 dots and say, I don't want any color. Again, that's really on that personality comes towards you and the students, the parents, but you are the one who can change the colors. I personally like colors. So there you go.
And if you change the color as a teacher, it doesn't necessarily do anything on the student's end or the parent's end. So for
Correct.
one course, a teacher could have one color, a student could have one color, and a parent could have a completely different color. So you're not.
And I love that, because if you're a parent of 2 or 3 students, you might want to color code your courses according to your own kids. And so I like being able to have that extra.